Hi Taurus, I hope you guys are doing great today. These are going to be general messages for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus for January 6th through January 12th of 2020. Guys, if these messages don't resonate with you, please don't try to make them fit. Definitely look up your rising Sun, Moon, sign, Venus. Understand the messages can be flip-flopped, right? Can be vice versa depending on anyone who you are here who's on your heart right now at the beginning of this reading. So we're going to start this by first talking about the astrology because it's just too damn big this week to not talk about separately front and center. Then we'll pull your blessing, your challenge, some qualifiers, some love, and some advice at the end. Let's get right into this. January 8th, Jupiter's conjunct the South Node of Capricorn. South Node is all about karma, guys. So for those of you who you hear about this nodal stuff, but you're really not quite sure, just know that the South Node has to do with what's stagnant in our life, like past its expiration date. Then we have the North Node, which is an area that we need to develop, or to achieve in order to really attain that inner balance and fulfillment in our life. So the energies that are coming up this week, though, guys, is where they meet up to really push us to look at our past. And it's all about, karma coming front and center. So this is you really figuring out what's coming forward with you and what are you detaching from. Maybe where have you been blocking your own success and your own victories in your life, having to do with relationships or having to do with business. What have you been holding yourself back from, what areas? So Jupiter's here to help us all tap into our wisdom to figure out what needs to be implemented and what really needs to be nurtured, right, through that North Node energy in order to help us grow. And then on the 10th, we have the full moon lunar eclipse happening at 20 degrees Cancer. Now we're going to have two of these this year. This is going to be the first one, and the second one is going to happen in the summer. And I'm calling the 6-month window in between the two a 6-month workspace. So it's a 6 months space of work to work on or work out something that needs to either be transformed, something that needs to end, or something that needs to be heavily focused on in a way for us to move forward. Okay, now the moon is at home in Cancer, so it's going to be a bit of an intense energy, but this is pushing us to really kind of get in touch with what needs nurturing and cultivating in our lives. The thing is here, though, as you're over here transforming and focusing and ending something, right? There's something new that's beginning. That's it's like sneaking in your back door, so to speak. So you may not see that right away, and that's okay. There are other energies in the sky that are going to be illuminating these ideas for you as we go along. And then on the 11th, the third thing I wanted to talk about is the 11th. We have Uranus going direct. So Uranus, first of all, it's been retrograde since August, and this is the planet of surprises. This is the shaker planet, right? This is, I've referenced Uranus as the boom planet in my past videos. So this is really, though, about getting us out of that rut we might have been feeling in one area of our life or another. And this illuminates where we've been feeling stuck. And he's in there with Taurus, which is going to help us to see what needs adjusting or change in our physical 3D world. Because there are structures in all of our lives that just aren't working anymore. So it's time to tear them down and innovate, update, or change, right? And as you do this, Uranus is going to be bringing in some new pentacle energy. So this can be resources for those of you who've been having issues with job, a career, anything like that in that sector. Or it could certainly be the other meaning of the pentacle energy, which has to do with mental, physical, and emotional connections. So you meeting new people in that way that you're going to better connect with. So that's all really, really positive. And then on the 11th into the 12th, depending on where you live, we do have this Saturn-Pluto conjunction that everybody's been talking about. And the reason everyone's been talking about it is because it happens every 34 years. It's the end of a 34-year cycle. We're going into a new 34-year cycle. And the thing is, because of what else is going in the sky with Jupiter with the South Node conjunct, the eclipse energy, Uranus going direct, this is a life-changing pattern that's happening here, guys. It really is. And those of you who've been watching me know I've been mentioning this 34-year cycle ending and this new one beginning for the last 6 weeks or so, maybe if not longer. But I haven't really said much more than that because it wasn't hitting, but it is now here. So we are leaving this pentacle energy, this time where it was all about making money and resources and all of the things that where materialism mattered so much more. And if you think about the last 34 years, if you're old enough, think about what that means, you know. Think about how the lower class and the upper class have become more divided than ever. People have become obsessed with the, you know, possessions and owning and all of this, right? Everything that means. And I don't want to make this about mundane social astrology or anything, but think about that. But now we're entering into a cycle of air, right? Because we're getting into Uranus, into Aquarius, right? So it's going to be ruled by air, which has the Uranus energy. Uranus rules technology. So this is all going to be about not only technology, but everything air. If you think about it, Gemini is air, ruled by Mercury, has to do with communication. Libra is air, ruled by Venus. Anything Venusian having to do with how we connect, how we view what we love, our relationship with money. All of these things are going to be updated into a new way of thinking and being, which is entirely positive. So we have Pluto in there creating the transformation, and we have Saturn in there telling us to grow the hell up, right? Really maturing us in these areas that maybe we need updating in. I mean, it's as simple as that in order for us to have this really strong next 34-year foundational cycle. But at the same time, guys, you really want to identify, what did Jupiter help you to see that works in your life? And it's very important to focus on that. Focus on the good. What's good? Did you start a new job, a new relationship? Are things on point in those areas? Maybe some new friend circle, reconnections within family, whatever it is. Uranus is going to help you to become even more solid in these areas. So it's really, really good energy. And it's big, and it's certainly profound. And it's like the seeds are cracking open now, and things are going to be working and moving forward. But we're not going to have all the answers, and we're not going to see where we're supposed to, what we're supposed to do at every single leg of the journey, guys. I've been saying it's kind of like, you know, if I were to get in my car right now, because I realize that I can't stay where I am, and I decided I want to get in my car and go to Ohio. I've never been to Ohio. Never been there. Let's say I was going to drive across country and go. I would know probably like the first quarter of my travel there, just because I've done a fair amount of road trips. I've maybe seen pictures of Ohio, read about it, but I don't really know beyond a certain point. There's no way that I could really know, because I haven't been there yet, right? But I know I can't stay here. So I'm going to have to pull myself out of anything that I'm comfortable in here in order to move to this place that I do believe has exactly what it is that I'm looking for, right? And that's what it is. It's, you know, will I make the decision to be afraid once I'm past that first like quarter leg of the journey, because I'm in unfamiliar territory? Or am I going to allow myself to be excited about it? Am I going to allow myself to be held back and kick and scream over why I need to leave New York? Or am I going to allow myself to embrace the opportunity? I mean, it's really up to me how I decide to handle it, because it's my life, right? So now just apply that to you guys. That's kind of where we're all sort of at right now with this. So let's get your crowning energy. Okay, and then we'll get your gift and whatever challenge. Guys, don't ever be afraid of astrology or tarot. Don't be afraid of it. It's to be forewarned is to be forearmed, and really it all just is, you know, at the end of the day. It's the ebb and flow of life. Seven of Air, Seven of Swords is crowning you. Seven of Swords is crowning you. Very interesting energy to crown. Okay. Six of Fire, the Six of Swords is crowning, is rather your blessing this week. Okay, and that's about victory, and that's about being respected. It's a good energy to have. And then we have the Nine of Fire, the Nine of Wands as your challenge. Okay, so let's see what we can get out of this. So guys, the Seven of Air for your crowning. Seven of Air is the Seven of Swords energy, and that is the card of thievery. And when we're talking about thievery and we're talking about air energy, we're talking about swords, which is truth, right? And so this is the kind of energy where you're going to be feeling like your voice is just not heard. If you're having conflict with somebody, it's like a battle of what's real, what's not, what's true, what's not. And this is, you know, there's deflection there. There's gaslighting is found in this energy. I'm just keeping it real. So I feel like some of you, for this week, during this time period, you guys are going to be dealing with something that's quite uncomfortable. Now, I want to just refer back to when I did the monthly for January. If you guys remember, what did I say is hitting around this time? Right? I'm not going to keep going over, you know, everything that I all the transits that I address in each video, because then it just gets to be too crazy. But remember I mentioned that bullying vibe mid-month? Yeah. I feel like this may be connected to that. Okay. So, but you know what? Somebody is not hearing you, and you're caught up in somebody else's nonsense, something that somebody else did, and you feel very caught up in their nonsense. But we have the Six of Fire, and again, this Six of Fire is the Six of Wands, so this is like the soldier who's come back from war and is very victorious, and everybody is like, go you, you know? So it's very respectful, very victorious. Things just, you feel like on a certain level, like things are just good. Now I do want to keep in mind, your blessing doesn't have to have anything to do with your challenge. This could be your relationship, this could be your job, this could be your job, this could be a family connection. Apply the messages as you see fit. So this is your recent past, this is you now. Okay, this is the challenge here, and this is the outcome, and let's pull a qualifier for each. Yeah, so in the recent past, we have the Five of Wands reverse. So this tells me that you were kind of in a bit of a battle of the wills with somebody. It could have been with yourself, could have been with somebody else in the 3D. But that's what the Five of Wands is. Five of Wands is conflict, having to do with will, having to do with passion, having to do with motivation, and just not seeing eye to eye with somebody. It's like trying to stab each other in the dark, kind of. But it's you realizing, like, you're just like, this really isn't even my issue, what we're fighting about. Like, what the hell is it? Like, this is really, the main issue here is not on my side of the fence here, right? I mean, this is what you were feeling, you know, and at the same time, you're the King of Cups energy, and you're totally recognizing what you need, in relationship and what you need in connection. Because that is, I mean, the King of Cups is all about relationships and what that means on a very healthy, like, what is communication supposed to look like in a relationship? And just being very there and very present and understanding and having a lot of empathy and compassion and everything that's necessary in a relationship. And for Taurus, I feel like a lot of you were in this position where you know that this is what you need, you know what this is what you want, but you were in a position where you weren't getting that. And it was ending in this either internal conflict, or you were actually arguing with somebody about where they're not showing up. You know, and the thing is, it ends up creating this situation where you're in the world reverse energy, which is still positive. It just means like not yet. It means somebody needs to do something. There is a situation at hand that needs addressing before this can turn upright. Somebody needs to work on something here. We get the Queen of Pentacles energy representing you right now. So you really are very in full awareness of what's necessary to just be productive and successful. All right, because this is like a very successful, being on point with your money, knowing what good connection looks like. So if this has to do with a job, you are really knowing exactly what you need to do, but you're identifying that there's an area in your workspace, whether it has to do with people you work with are problematic, if it's your boss that's just thinking off base, if it's your business partner who's just being very argumentative right now, you're fully in awareness, though, of what needs to be done in order to rectify this situation. But it's frustrating because when you have this Five of Wands energy, you don't feel like your voice is being heard in the way that it's supposed to be heard. And this same thing if it has to do with a friendship, a family connection, same idea. I have to get this idea, it's like things don't really have to be this hard kind of thing, you know? And then we have, this is very interesting because the Six of Fire is the Six of Wands energy, all right? And this is in your challenge. And the challenge here is feeling victorious in this situation, feeling like, I'm not going to say getting your way, but feeling like the right thing is being done, it's being handled the right way. You're just really not feeling respected, okay? You're just not feeling respected in this situation. And then you hear as the King of Pentacles, but you totally, it's like, Taurus, you understand what is necessary. I mean, you really are that major pentacle energy anyway. Everything we've been talking about, right, with Taurus, with Uranus right now. But yeah, you're definitely recognizing that. And this is the thing. I mean, because this is in your challenge, you're recognizing it. But because you feel like you're being disrespected and you're not being heard, because this is in your challenge, you feel like you're not able to reach that level of attainment that you're looking to reach, or that you know you should, having to do with mental, physical, emotional connection, or even to do with money. Apply it to your life as it would relate. But that's for sure. And it's because of this lack of respect that you feel like you're not going to be able to reach that level of attainment. Now, in the outcome energy, though, we have the Six of Pentacles, which is about having each other's back and really supporting each other. Really supporting each other. So I feel like the Seven of Air is also an air clearing kind of fighting. Do you know the kind of fighting where it can be really messy when you're going through it, but it's like everything comes out of like the ethers from your inside your soul, like everything that you've been holding back kind of comes out, you know what I mean? And once everything comes out, it's like everybody's just standing there like, okay, I got that out, now what? And there's an air clearing about it. So it's a conflict, and there's a lot of like deflection, and you said this and that's not what happened, and what are you crazy, back and forth. But once everything is out, there is a sense of air clearing. And as a result of the air clearing happening, which has got to happen, right? You're going to end up with this Six of Fire as the gift, which is about success. In whatever area this is, if it has to do with career, if it has to do with relationship, friendship, family, you're going to have success, and you're going to end up getting the respect that you feel like you're struggling with kind of going in and at the beginning of this period. Because that's what Six of Pentacles is. And my goodness, come on now, get the beautiful Ten of Cups. Beautiful. This is like hard-earned happiness. Because it's one cup at a time, over time, put up in that rainbow. This is not like a new energy. This is processed energy. This is, you guys have been through it. Even if it has to do with work. You and your business partner have been through it. You have a new level of understanding. You and your intimate partner have been through it. You have a new level of understanding. Your friends, your family, it doesn't matter. It's like a matter of going through it, recognizing the discord and addressing it, but there has to be an argument, I'm not gonna lie. And listen, we're at the point that's like right in the center of it, where the bullying kind of energy that I've warned you guys about for January, it's happening. It's okay. It's okay, because I feel like it ends up really good, where there ends up being support, and yeah, good. Okay. Yeah, air clearing. Lots of air clearing. Who else got a lot of air clearing? Pisces. Was it Pisces? I think it was Pisces. Got a lot of air clearing energy. Lots of air clearing. Yeah. Oh, but it's so annoying when you're going through that kind of arguing, isn't it? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Then we have Nine of Fire. Nine of Wands. So, Nine of Wands is you've been through a lot, but there's still juice left in you to move forward. But that juice that's left in you to keep going after something is really a challenge for you. You're having a hard time tapping into it, but you still see the positive energy in it. It's just not going to be easy, so let's see what we can get. As far as messages for the present. I'm sorry, this is for the past, the recent past. This is the present. That's your fear. That's the outcome. And these are qualifiers. Okay, so you can see what the challenge is. So, I mean, the recent past, we have the Page of Cups, which is feeling like this new cycle is not going to begin because somebody's not feeling very passionate about it, you know. And this was a real struggle. Now this could be you, because it's a court card. Court cards could be either you, another person, or a situation. So apply it however it would best fit your life. But this could certainly be a job that you started that ended up not giving you the happiness, the ability to cultivate within that sector in the way that it was initially promised to you, you know, and you found like you just weren't really happy. It wasn't speaking to your heart space, really, and you were kind of shutting down to it, you know, in a point in the past. If this has to do with a relationship, this tells me that you got to a point where you just kind of close yourself off. You just kind of close yourself off. And we have temperance. Temperance is about recognizing what each person needs. So Taurus, I am getting that for some of you, once the temperance was there, where you were identifying what you needed and they identified what they needed, you guys were realizing that you actually didn't even want the same thing, right? Because that's, I mean, temperance card, there's actually an element of healing there where it's like, I know you need that and I need this and the relationship needs this other thing, but I'm really not feeling like willing to do that. And it's because one of you or both of you were just very closed off to the situation. So we could pull some cards to see why somebody felt closed off, but maybe you guys were out of contact, you know, because of another issue, but we'll pull cards. But in the present situation, we have a fighting card here, right? We have the Five of Wands reverse, and the Five of Wands is just a lack of first of all, it's like there's a lack of willingness to fight. You just don't want to deal. You just don't want to deal. The passion and the motivation are not what it used to be. And this is really a struggle for you because you feel like when you get into these arguments, like stabbing each other in the dark, no one ends up winning. There's no winning here. And at the end of the day, you feel like the issue is really not yours. And this is another energy that I'm getting where it's like you feel like you're in this situation where you're fighting over something that you feel like the problem is really not on your side of the fence. And, you know, this is like the cycle's done. Ten of Wands, it's done. This has been done. It's too much to carry. It's too much to bear. Ten of Wands. It's too much. Now, this can definitely just be like you're mentally exhausted, like completely mentally exhausted, because this is also the card of the multitasker. So let's say you have a whole lot going on at home and you're working 100 hours a week and you're having issues in your relationship. It's like, I don't have enough space in my head for everything that's going on. And you're just feeling like, I just don't want to deal with this. I just don't want to deal. But at the same time, your fear here is the Empress energy. Your fear here is that the Empress energy is about growth. This is like a blocking kind of fear that you're not going to have growth with this person, and that the Tower is that the situation is done. You know, this is in your fear. This doesn't mean it actually even had to happen. Now the other thing is, this can also apply to the way of thinking, because the Tower can happen in the 3-day. There could be a loss of a job, loss of a relationship, loss of anything, right, in the 3-day. But it can also indicate feeling like recognizing that you may need to change the way you think about a situation, that you may need to update your way of thinking and the way you're processing something. And in the rebuilding of that, new doors are going to open for you, because you might be realizing, you know what, I've been thinking this way for a really long time and it's really not serving me in the way that I would really like to. So maybe I need to re-strategize in a different direction. And this could just simply mean pulling apart, you know, and a pulling down of an outdated set of thinking, an outdated set of ideals or ideas. But it's hard. I mean, that's a struggle, because you're looking at the situation and you're saying, you know what, in order for me to make this work, I may have to really think about changing my thinking, really working actively on changing my perception of things, and really getting to the root of why I even think the way I do. Why do I do what I do? And that's hard. That's what, I mean, listen, for the most enlightened individual, that's not real good shadow work and real good work on self. You have to go through this kind of definitive dark space before the light hits. You know what I mean? Anyone who tells you anything different, I think maybe they haven't really gone through it. You know, you have to go through a little bit of that darkness when you're getting really front and center with yourself. But then, yeah, because in the outcome, like, you're recognizing that if the energy stays as it is, you have a little fire left in your belly for something. Now, guys, this doesn't have to be connected to this. I just want to remind you. So maybe this is your job, or it's that friendship or that family connection. It could be that relationship. We have two reversals here where it's just like closing down to the heart, closing down of the truth as well, though. So, because the Ace of Swords in reverse does indicate some sort of dishonesty. So either you're realizing at the end of the day, you don't want to give this person or this situation another shot because they're just very dishonest, or this can indicate you deciding to not start something new, but because you're actually not being totally honest with yourself about a situation, Taurus. You know, let's pull some energies on that. Yeah. Let's pull 4 across and see what we got. So I feel like I'm getting a very layered vibe here. I feel like this is like at the underbelly of something bigger. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Let me pull 4 more. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we have, look at this. In the recent past, we have, in the present, we have King. In the recent past, King of Pentacles, but no movement. So if this has to do with a relationship, Taurus, I'm getting that either you or somebody else, you were this King of Pentacles energy, they were this King of Pentacles energy, or you guys were in this space together where there was going to be a lot of building, you know, and a lot of planning a life together, and this just you guys just both kind of being on point with money, or and just, you know, having your connection figured out, good communication. You felt like you believed it was a good, you guys had a good social life, you know, you thought all of that. But then there was just no movement. There was no movement forward, and you know, passion just started to diminish, and there was just this, all of a sudden, no communication. So, Taurus, I have to say what I'm getting here, okay? If this has to do with a relationship, this is going to resonate with some of you. You go from this space of absolute great connection, everything's on point, to no contact. So I don't know if some of you are dealing with somebody who has a dark triad issue, who is got narcissistic tendencies, who's got maybe some borderline issues going on, because that's typically that quick cutoff, that they're there 1 minute, love bombing, and then they're gone because you sneezed funny or whatever. That's very much a narcissist vibe, borderline vibe. They feel very justified. Do have to say that. That's going to resonate with some of you. But either way, the Eight of Wands in reverse is this idea of stagnation and not having foundation, and there not being good communication coming in. So for others of you, this could be where you guys were in this good space, and then all of a sudden you just started to communicate poorly for whatever reason. Maybe work got a little nutty. Maybe, you know, your schedules were just not jiving with each other, and you were just kind of like two ships passing in the night, and it ended up just being that kind of situation. And then in the present, we have this King of Cups energy. So I feel like ultimately, this is really where you're at, right? You know what you want in a relationship and a connection. This is you right now. You understand what's up, and you're very willing to offer your pentacles to somebody. Now, this isn't only money, right? If it has to do with a relationship, it has to do with connection, right? You're being very willing to start a connection here, or offer a connection, or re-offer a connection, because it can mean any of those things. But we have in your fear, we have the Four of Cups, which is all about the checklist card. So you're afraid that cycle is going to be repeating itself, or that somebody has A, B, and C quality that you just really don't like. You just don't want to deal with it. And what you need to understand is that's just you living in the past. And because it's in your fear position, this is you fearing it. You're just fearing that that's what you're afraid you're going to end up feeling restless in the relationship. You're afraid you're going to end up feeling bored. You're afraid that the person is going to end up having some qualities that you really don't jive with. Yeah. And you're scared. Like, you're scared to have this new cycle. You're scared to have this newness with this person. You're scared for this new connection. Which is funny because you're doing it anyway. Because you still have fire in your belly to move forward. You don't want to give up. If this is to do with relationship, you don't want to give up on relationship. You just don't. And this is so interesting to me. Look at this. We have the 9 of Wands here as the final outcome in the second pull, which is so funny to me. Because at the end of the day, you're the King of Wands reverse, which is you just not feeling like you can do this. You're just not feeling motivated in order to do this. So you have all of this want. And you feel like you still have energy left in you. But the passion is just not what it once was. Now, this could be even in relation to something like a brand new relationship where, and this is very common, guys, so if you're feeling this, it's just part of the human condition. It makes you like normal with the heartbeat. A lot of times when you go through relationships, and a lot of them don't work out in a series, or even if you've been with somebody for a long time and you just kind of like burnt out, you know, and even if you've allowed some time to heal and all of that, you just kind of, you're not feeling the same level of passion to get back into a relationship as you once did once upon a time before any pain and stuff hit your life. You know what I mean? I kind of feel like that's where you guys are at. It's like you're giving it a go. You have the 9 of Wands, you know, but it's a struggle. It's a struggle. And for many of you, I do have to say, I'm also feeling that some of you are going to be forcing yourself to get into a new relationship as a way of pressuring yourself to move on and away from something in the past that didn't work out. It's like you're telling yourself, like, Taurus, like, we're going to sit and wallow forever? Like, we need to move on here. This is crazy. We need to move. If this has to do with a job, it's the same idea. You know, you're feeling very disheartened by an area in a career or something that you're majoring in, right? You're really not, like, you have all of this energy inside of you. You want to make money. You want to do the right thing. You know, you like the area. You have gumption in you for this career. You have desire in you to do what you're doing. But at the same time, you know, you're feeling this level of dissatisfaction and this level of restlessness, and you're not feeling really good about moving into this next cycle in this position. You know, so I am getting that there's if this has to do with career or even like a major in school, you are staying with it for now. You have a little like energy left in you to dedicate to it, but you're really identifying the fact that your interest and your passion in this particular job, in this to study this particular area, it's just not what it once was or what you thought it was, and you've fallen away from it. I could feel this being one of the things that fall away. Yeah. So I do feel like, you know, this could certainly be career, school kind of thing that could be relationship. I mean, I hope this is relationship. 10 of Cups and the Pentacle energy at the end. It's pretty nice energy to end on. All right, so let's move on to Polar Love Oracle. Just a couple. Keep these guys out over here. Those of you open to love, not everyone is. Not everybody wants love. Not everybody has it in their energy field right now. Let's see, for those of you open to it. And we'll pull a couple of Island Time Wellness and we'll see what's happening. Deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. Son of a gun. Deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. Taurus. What's that? Deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Sunglasses. Heartbroken. The dragonfly. So right now, I feel that some of you, whoever this is resonating with, you're feeling heartbroken, deeply hurt, sad. There's a separation here where you're feeling lost in your You're doing a type of grieving and mourning. Then we have somebody's watching you. Somebody's watching you, looking, stalking, right? So this could certainly be you watching somebody else or them watching you, but there's sadness here. But then we have the dragonfly, which is all about be lighthearted. This is about finding out things coming to light, adapting, changing, and healing. So I do feel like for those of you who are in the situation where you're in no contact, I feel like, you know, you're feeling heartbroken, you're really trying to heal. One of you is, you know, looking each other up, the other one up on social media, whatever the heck it is, asking around, whatever it is in your world. But I do feel like this answer of what feels right for many of you is going to be this idea that you need to really update the way you think and consider relationship. There needs to be some changing and there's going to be healing. But there's going to be this finding out, this being lighthearted and kind of coming back around to each other and having this conversation and clearing the air. Clearing the air. Yeah, how about that? Clearing the air. I like that. Let's get a card of advice. Card of advice for all Taurus people. Card of advice for all Taurus people. All Taurus people. Let's see what we got. Courage. Courage. Okay, you know, yeah. Courage requires you to fearlessly stride ahead despite the challenges that you're experiencing right now. So whether you're afraid of success or failure, you know, it depends on where you're at in your life. You can't stay where you are. So you need to make a decision and move forward with belief and trust and a sense of boldness, really, and give it your all no matter the outcome. Because despite what you've been telling yourself, you're ready for a new adventure and you know it. You feel it in your belly. And another chance to prove that you have what it takes to face any of the challenges. And that's what, like, that is so that sword energy, right? I mean, it is just like about, yeah, I've been through so many challenges, but I still have some energy left in me for it. So, you know, this is you just not giving up, you know, so I like that. Stop investing in limitations and in lack and in dysfunction, because every blessing has a challenge and every challenge contains a blessing. So you're ready to really explore both. Even though there'll probably be difficult moments ahead, you want to stay positive and believe that everything is going to work out for you for your absolute best. So you're being asked to really get together in the area of courage here, to be who you truly are and just stand strong in your convictions and just to not be afraid of looking at yourself. Don't be afraid to look at yourself. Don't be afraid to be honest about what needs changing in your life, because it's really, really positive. Great closing piece of advice. I like it. Okay, Taurus, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.